Hey beautiful souls, it's Tim Wild. Happy solstice. We couldn't have been blessed with a more beautiful day here in the United Kingdom for the gathering of many groups, both online and in person, and also just simply to celebrate the incoming frequencies, the light, everything that we associate with the longest day, or if you happen to be in the southern hemisphere, the longest night. I always feel a little bad when celebrating such beautiful things. It's not often that we get spanky, gorgeous, bright blue sunny days here in the UK, especially like it's been recently, but the weather gods most certainly have smiled upon those that are gathering outside. So I hope you're all okay. I know that I'm not, or I haven't been recently doing as many updates, and this will be falling on a Thursday rather than a Friday, but I'm just feeling very inclined to just sit, feel this beautiful energy, and relay some of the things that have been coming through to me, and just to touch base, to say hi, send you all a bit of love, because there's been all sorts going on in the fields, like I've said in my live events that I've done and previously, that we will never ever exist on this planet in a period of time as so distinctly unique as it is at the moment, but also that within that distinctive, unique energy is a huge amount of division. When the third eye was released from its sixth veil, and again, you know, if you're new to the channel, if you haven't heard me talking about this, not so long ago, still in the kind of the confines of this year, the sixth veil of amnesia was moved from the third eye. Now, when we were born with seven veils to basically prevent us from seeing who we truly are, seeing the higher realms, seeing the utter, complete clarity and distinctive truth of everything around us. So we would be basically privy to the illusion. This was done under agreement. Your third eye, my third eye, when we incarnated, when we were born, invariably most of us listening, or most of you listening to this, will have been born into the third dimension. It's highly unlikely that you'll be tuning in if you were born from 2012 onwards, although I could be mistaken. So this veil of amnesia, the seven veils, I mean, you've probably heard them mentioned before, but might not have understood or been quite in the know of exactly what these veils do and how important they are to our process. You know, so when I think about it, I become animated with the kind of the almost the perfection of the perfection of the illusion that we used to live in, the utter kind of the hood over the head. Who are we? What are we doing here? You know, what direction do we go in? What made us? What on earth am I, or what planet am I on, kind of, and this all begins from the second that we find ourselves here, interacting with this beautiful world in whatever conditions that we've arranged to be born into. One by one, as we go through our spiritual awakening, the veils come off our third eye, beginning with number 1 and 2, 3, 4. Number 5 came away during the early part between 2020 and 2021, and there was a distinctive shift in what people could see, how they would perceive their surroundings, the information that they were able to discern as truth or untruth. But what we were witnessing was a huge division, a huge quantity of people still that were just utterly choosing, and it is a choice at this point in time, choosing not to be part of what is happening on this planet. Now, the sixth veil changes the ball game altogether, and as I've said previously, once the sixth veil comes away, and it has done for everybody, not just our selective, unique spiritual community, every soul on this planet has had that veil taken away from their third eye. And that, my lovely souls, my brothers and sisters in the light, is the key to the mass awakening that we are seeing on this world at the moment, whether we're celebrating it, whether we're kind of wallowing in our own misery because things have been really difficult energetically, whether we're watching the stars, whether we're watching the kind of the political carnival that's kind of whooping and screeching and carrying on in the background, being pumped through the TVs and everything. All of us are going to be privy to the same level of sensory and spiritual information coming in from all of the different clairs, basically. We call it clairs: clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvisual, claircognizant. You know the drill. All of the feels, the sees, the knows, the hears, the speaks, the most prominent one, the one that everybody wants, is to be able to see the world around them in spirit. Now, I've joked about this in workshops. There's always one person in every workshop, every live event, who can go, oh, I can see that beautiful golden angel or dragon or extraterrestrial, anything, and everybody else is just like, I wish I could see like that. Well, now you have the opportunity to do so, but it might be coming through in an excessively heightened sense that you may have in another aspect, if you like, clairaudience, that ability to hear, or the claircognizance, to know, clairsentience, to feel. Most of us can feel acutely what's going on around us. We can feel whether the world is right for us. We can hear the words and information from other people. And we can ascertain now, in the blink of an eye, in a heartbeat, in the time that it takes for our neurons to process that information coming through, well, long before that even occurs, you will have assimilated whether that information is true, whether it is false for you, or whether it is coming from a source of heart-centeredness, or whether it is the words of ego. So this solstice, we are celebrating not just the coming of the light, the incoming of all of these incredible frequencies, but the freedom that we are being gifted by being able to see again. And when we get the opportunity to see at this level, we don't just get the opportunity to see the good stuff, okay? We don't just get to see and hear and feel the angels, and to sense them, and to maybe become closer and more adept to communicating with the way that we receive. We're also going to be very privy to the darkness, to the shadows, to all of the flowing rivers of silt that we see kind of like moving around the planet. And so what do we do when we get that opportunity, when we have that ability to see so clearly? Do we reject it? Do we run screaming? Or do we accept? Okay, there's some lovely words that I've been hearing recently about, and it's the pathway to the light is rooted in authenticity. Okay, we are now being called in these solstice energies to be the most authentic version of ourselves that we possibly can be. No pretenses, no illusions. If you've got bits of you that you don't like, you're gonna get them seen at some point anyway. Bring it to the table, laugh it out, cry it out, talk it out, do whatever you got to do. Get those shadows dealt with, seen, loved, and be prepared to move forwards, because we're moving very, very quickly, aren't we? All of us together. Whether you are listening to this feeling like you're a little bit isolated, whether you're feeling a little bit maybe railroaded by the process or not, we are going to be seeing, feeling, hearing, knowing at such a deep level that authenticity is the only pathway forward to be our true authentic self. So whoever it is that is waiting to step up, whoever it is that you've incarnated to be, now is the time. And I've seen an incredible example of this. I mean, those of you that are keyed into the matters of what occurs in the UK, or have listened to me previously, or maybe you've heard, or maybe you know the Chalice Well Gardens, you'll know that I kind of weighed in my opinion, how I personally feel about the removal of the statues, particularly the statue of the Divine Mother, to be placed out of sight in a field. For me personally, that is utterly the wrong thing to do. Everybody is calling for the replacement of her, including, I believe, the lovely man from India who originally carved that particular sculpture, regardless of the connotations that were there previously. Everybody, so many voices, authentic voices, who are standing next to their emotions and how they feel about it. And I've seen comments in the threads, particularly on the Chalice Well. I mean, the beloved people at the Chalice Well must be feeling, like have we made the right decision, the wrong decision? Are we going to dig our heels in, or are we going to listen? It's very interesting to see how that's going to pan out, because you could say it's the infiltration of like that well-used word wokery now into the kind of the politics that exists in that incredibly sacred place. Are they going to listen? What's the higher purpose for all of this? And so many times we've seen over the thousands of years that we've existed since the fall of Atlantis, concerted attacks on the divine feminine to hide her, to shush her, to bring her out of sight, to remove and regulate how much energy and power she has bringing to the surface to bring it through. And of course, I always see the higher perspective from everything, and I'm looking now with great interest at the rising of that defensive side that we're not going to stand for it, and that's a balancing energy of divine, both the fire of the divine feminine and also a great proportion of the divine masculine that is beginning to rise, because we cannot foreseeably move into the next phase of the ascension process one level of unbalanced energy on this planet. There has to be balance. There has to be the Hieros Gamos. There has to be the balance between divine masculine and divine feminine. And both sides of those energies have got to learn to trust each other again after so many years. So we've all lived together and served in this illusion. We've had countless incarnation after incarnation where we've revisited this planet in 3D to help, to assist, to correct the mistakes of maybe the previous incarnation, to move forwards, to expand our spiritual status on a soul level, to make that progress, that jump as quickly and efficiently as possible. And for some of us, it might have felt like we have not achieved what we've needed to achieve. We've come back here again and again and again. We've got caught in the karmic cycles. We've been kind of ensnared in the way things can exceed their creative potential on this planet very, very quickly. And here we are now. I believe that in order to embrace fully where we are on this process at the moment, we need to heal, we need to release, we need to embrace all of those aspects of ourselves. But the most important is to be authentic. Not just to be authentic, but to listen to the voices of those who are expressing their emotions genuinely from the center of their heart. Because one of the things that I've seen, particularly in this conversation, there has been an awful not an awful, a huge quantity of outcrying negativity placed towards the chalice well. And in response, there have been kind of like, you know, what I consider maybe a bit of ducking and diving. But there are a few people in there who are just saying, what's your problem? You know, like, your emotions aren't valid. And that's where we start to have a little bit of a problem. That's where we become unstuck, because all emotions, everything that we are feeling, are valid to, or need to be expressed, to be recognized. And it's how that has been occurring in the past, how it's been dunked back down underneath the surface, how we've been told to be quiet, to put up, to shut up, and everything else. And that's just no longer occurring. Everything is rising up like a storm, but it's up to us to be in charge of that storm, okay? To express what we need to express, to be as authentic as we possibly can be, but then to return back to a loving center once we have addressed what it is that we need to deal with at that particular point in time, whether it's something physical on the exterior or whether it's something internal that we are processing. So I'm genuinely excited about the energies that I'm feeling coming through today. They're clear, they're crisp, they're distinctive, very, very high frequency. Of course, the Schumann resonance chart doodah thingy is going absolutely haywire. I haven't even looked to see what the sun flares are doing, but I know that it's big. So I just wanted to say this today, to just kind of check in with you all, to send you all some love, and just to say, whatever you are doing, wherever you are in the world, however you are experiencing it, whatever your contribution today to the energies of this solstice, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's the next day, all of this energy grounded in authenticity, love, heart-centeredness, whatever is coming through and up for you will become part of the field, the new timeline, the platform. We are now in a phase of this ascension process where we are all capable of speaking truth with love. And therefore, it is our responsibility to listen and to respond with love. That's where we are at the moment. So who knows what the next, it's actually quite hot here, who knows what this next phase is going to bring. We've got the solstice today, then we've got the Sirius portal at the beginning of July, the one that always catches me out slightly, and then of course we are flowing into the wonderful vibrations and the frequencies of the Lion's Gate. We're all changing, okay? We're all changing so rapidly. It's an intensive shift, and you might not at this moment in time be feeling that you truly recognize who you are, but provided that you are evolving and allowing yourself to become the authentic version of yourself, you cannot go wrong. Just follow that heart. Follow your heart on a daily basis. Wake up in the morning and say to your heart, where are we going? What are we doing? Let's go outside. Let's ground. Let's feel the nature, feel the air, feel the trees, whether it's hot, cold, light or dark. Make sure that Mother Earth and your heart are part of your guidance systems. Of course, you are relying on the energies that are coming in from your highest self. That's all part of the process. But Mother Earth has got something to say today. So get yourself out if you can, or just simply tune in and listen. And on a daily basis, ask your heart where you're going, what you're doing, what's the plan, and then connect and communicate, tune into the field of Mother Earth, because she knows exactly what is happening, where we need to go, and what she is requiring of us as the boots on the ground, light workers who have chosen to incarnate at this precious time. So, from my heart to yours on this beautifully toasty summer's day, happy solstice, lots of love, and I'll catch you all again soon. I'll be back on Monday for Meditation Monday. Bye for now.